Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us once again. And we're really excited. I know we say that every week, but every week we have somebody that's really exciting and something new that we love. So this is a new product that we've got this week, and 2018, and they will be launching next year. So to move forward, we've got Kathy Scott from Oak Bay and from the Sydney office, as well as myself from Sydney. And from Atlas Ocean Voyages, we have Eric Bacon, and without the French pronunciation. And yeah, this is a really, really interesting concept. I mean, we're really excited when you didn't think that things could be different in the industry, that you've come out with this this product that is really exciting. So we'd love to hear all about it.
All right. Well, I want to thank Kathy and Kathy for allowing me to talk to you today. I'm really thrilled and honored to be joining you and talking to you about this new and exciting cruise line in the industry. We started at late of 2018, and as Kathy mentioned, we're starting next year with our first ship, and I'll share with you more about the company, what we do, and who we are as well, and how we do things, because we're a little different than other cruise line that you might be familiar with. So on the agenda of what I'm going to talk to you this afternoon, what and who is Atlas Ocean Voyages, and we have a different way of experience, which is Lux Adventure, and I'll talk about what Lux Adventure means. Our air, which is included in all our itineraries, and also what we include as an all-inclusive cruise company. Our expeditions for next year, for our inaugural year, and I'll touch some of very exciting destinations as well, and hopefully will trigger something in you and joining us next year in our inaugural season. Our Max Shore itineraries, which is a total different concept in the industry that we brought in, and I think this is just absolutely amazing and makes us a different type of cruise line in the market as well, and our promotions that we have currently. So if I can start by indicating who is Atlas Ocean Voyages. Well, we are a new entrant in the cruise industry. Our head office is based out of Fort Lauderdale, and as I mentioned earlier, we are an all-inclusive travel brand. And a little later, I'll indicate what our all-inclusive really means. We are small ships, and I'll also go in detail of what our small ship will offer. And the World Navigator is our first ship coming up in July of next year. And you can see a part of that ship over on the screen, and it's very exciting. Now, we're not alone in all this. We have our parent company, which is based out of Porto in Portugal. It's called Mystic Invest Holding. They've been in business for almost 30 years. They know a lot of things about cruising, and actually they are the third largest river cruise in the world, though they white label most of their ships. So you might have sailed with Mystic Holding, not necessarily knowing that you were, because they mostly white label. But they decided to go on the upfront and have their own ocean-going brand with Atlas Ocean Voyages. So we're really going to offer a different type of travel for our guests that will come and sail with us, and really not have an ordinary vacation wherever we are visiting. I mentioned that we are Lux Adventure, and it's really luxury and adventure at the same time. And we really want to be offering authentic experiences in all the ports, cities that we're going to visit, or the destination or countries where we are going. That's what we want to differentiate ourselves and really, truly be part of the country where you are. Though we are a luxury brand, we want it simple. We're not expecting jackets or cocktail dresses or tuxedos, anything of that sort. We really want our guests to be comfortable in a really elegant space. So specifically what Lux Adventure means, it's really having a deeper experience of the destinations where you're going to go. And if you want to have a hardcore experience or a softer experience, you'll be able to do. So if you want to hike up a volcano, go delta planning, do water skiing or scuba diving, you'll have the opportunity to do so. If you really go more like soft adventure, more like a city tour or go to the beach, you'll have the option to do so. So this is where we make our difference in the adventure that we are bringing our guests. And Atlas Ocean Voyages is really for the North Americans. We're really focusing on our focus market of North Americans, meaning Canadians, and they are already booking in big numbers with us, between 45 to 65. Now, we do understand that there'll be people outside of that category, but our activities, our settings is really focusing on the North American 45 to 65. So what is really big about our small ship is the World Navigator and the other subsequent other ships later on is there'll be hybrid ships. That means we will not impact on the environment, or at least less, and there's no anchor for that ship. So there's a positioning that helps us not to disturb the marine life anywhere we are, anywhere we go. And especially in certain sensitive environment, it's great to have that and definitely not disturb the environment. So talking about our ship, the World Navigator, is a small ship of 196 passengers. You can see on the screen the crew to our guest ratio, which is between 1 to 1.4. It's only 98 staterooms or suites. And from a ship that is less than 10,000 tons, we're going to have 4 different dining venues on board, which is pretty stunning considering a small of a ship of that sort. One thing that is different on our ship is at the front of it, at the bow, where we're going to have our water's edge observation deck. You're going to be just 30 feet above the ocean. That means an amazing experience when you see marine life like dolphins, whales, penguins, or anything else. So you're almost going to feel you're in the action. If we are in a colder environment, not to worry. You're going to have heated benches right on the observation deck, and you can still feel very comfortable being outside. And we have an association with Lux Adventure, for those of you that knows these great products. And this is the first time they have a spa at sea on board of our ships. Now, you're not hallucinating. You are seeing 5 ships on the screen because the Navigator will have sister ship coming in the following years. So we're going to have 2 more in 22 and 2 more in 23. Therefore, 5 as of 2023, sailing in different areas of the world. So I want to show you a little bit of what it's going to look like on board of the ship, starting with some of the restaurants, as well as our auditorium that can contain a little bit more than 110 people at a time, where we're going to have some of the gatherings, some movies that will be shown, documentaries, but also lectures that will be offered by some professionals in their field, from historians or environmentalists, scientists, and so on, that will be able to share some of their experience and the local experience as well. Our pool area with 2 big jacuzzis, our sauna and the spa area, as well as the water's edge bar, which is going to be just inside from the observation deck with a 240-degree view of the area and the glass ceiling as well, giving you an amazing impression while you are taking a little drink. And some of our staterooms also. All our staterooms are ocean view. And as soon as we go 1 category up, you get a balcony. Either the balcony can be outside, or it could be inside, like in the middle picture, as a Juliet balcony. So you can lower the window halfway down, so you still have more space in your cabin, in your stateroom, but you still have an outside experience nonetheless. And our cabin starts at 186 square feet, and they go all the way up to the Navigator Suite to 465 square feet. And talking about all-inclusive, does that include? Well, first of all, we always include one free excursion in a selected port for any of our sailings. And those are usually substantial. It's not just a city tour that will be offered, but we're going to have different categories and level of comfort according to your comfort, of course, of how you want to discover the destination. Wi-Fi is always included. Our 2-star Michelin chef that will set the menu and will also sail on some of our sailings as well. He's a very well known, he's a Portuguese chef called Rui Paula, and he's very well known over the world. We include premium alcohol, and that's available 24/7, not just like at a certain time. Since we are a no single-use plastic ship, we will provide you with a reusable bottle for filtered water during your sailing. I've talked about the L'Occitane agreement and cooperation we have. For those of you that will stay in the suites, we will provide with a butler service. Gratuities are always included, also as economy airfare from a Canadian standpoint from Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. So if I start making you dreaming with some of our very exciting destinations for next year, those are the ones that we'll touch during the presentation today. So we'll start with the Aegean Sea because our first sailing is on the 17th of July next year out of Malta. And on the screen, you can see some of the exciting excursions that you could select or purchase as well to do while you are visiting the different areas where you are going. So this itinerary that ends in Athens, starting from Malta, as I mentioned, and if you pay attention on the screen, you can see some of the names of the port cities that we're visiting that are not well traveled. They're usually not smaller ports, and that's the advantage of having a small ship. Now we can go to these areas and you can really discover more on the local scale. Then we're going to slowly make our way to the Black Sea. And I've discovered not too long ago that the Black Sea is very popular with Canadians. And our 2 sailings next year are getting pretty busy. We still have some of the space, but they're getting very busy from a Canadian standpoint, which is very exciting for me. So these are the 2 itineraries we offer in that area of the world. And I'd like to highlight the fact that some of the ports that we visit, we're going to stay a little longer, sometimes in a full evening where the ship leaves at 11 or midnight at night, allowing you to have a local flavor of that destination where you can go to a restaurant or maybe a show as well. And also in here, when we are in Odessa, we spend a full night also. So you're going to see in some of the itineraries where we stay longer and spend a full night, and I'll highlight that for you to know. Then we slowly make our way to the Holy Land on this itinerary here from Istanbul to Haifa, and the other one from Haifa to Athens. Now, something special that we do, and it's pretty unique, is on certain areas of the world, some of our itineraries, we created what we call our max shore itineraries. And for these specific 2 sailings, we have created 3 of those max shore. So you have the choice because together they come at 24 nights. And in certain areas, we spend a little bit more time, like 1 or 2 overnight, or 2 ports that are not too far. So then you get complimentary a land package. So either a 3 days for 2 nights or a 4-day, 3 nights in Turkey. And we're going to include the airfare if needed, or the bus, or the bus, the hotel, the meals, the excursions. You're not paying more. We give you that free. As soon as you book what we call in our jargon, back-to-back sailing, like in this case. If you would rather have more of a Holy Land experience, then we have our 24 in Anatolia and the Holy Land, where we're going to bring you over in Jordan and Israel for a 6-day, 5 nights. You're going to visit Petra. You're going to go in the desert and sleep one night glamping with the Bedouins and so on. So again, nobody else in the industry really offers this opportunity of really maximizing your vacation. And then this is our second Holy Land sailings, which is a round trip out of Athens, again visiting a little bit of Turkey, Cyprus, of course Israel, and Egypt. And then we slowly make our way out of the Mediterranean, where we're going to sail in certain areas that you might be a little bit more familiar with a Athens to Rome, and then a Rome to Lisbon. And I'd like to highlight that at Atlas Ocean Voyages, we like to do things a little bit out of the ordinary or extraordinary. And when we are in Positano, in the Athens to Rome, we have zodiacs on board of our ships. And when we are in Positano, we want to use our zodiacs for our guests to really get out right on the beach in that little town, instead of going to Naples and get on a train or a bus and bring you over to Positano. So I don't know what the face of the people in Positano will look like when we get with our zodiacs, but we like to do these type of things. And then we're crossing the Atlantic from our Lisbon to Bridgetown in Barbados, and then Barbados to Brazil, specifically, and Recife. And on a second itinerary where we go to Devil's Island, for those of you that have read the book or have seen the movie Papillon, about this infamous French prison, so you have the opportunity to visit the island and the prison also. And we're going to stop in Belém, where you'll have the opportunity to go and sail in the Amazon as well. And then we're sailing along the coast of South America with our Brazil itinerary as well as our Argentina itinerary. And in our Brazil itinerary of 13 nights, we're going to spend a full night in Rio and a full night in Florianopolis, again giving you really a local flavor of the destinations you came to visit. So you can go to a restaurant, go see a show. In Argentina, you can go and see a dance show as well when you are there. And the Argentina sailing, this is the only time where we go to the Falkland Islands. For those of you that aren't necessarily interested to go even further in that part of the world, where you could experience the penguins, and one of the bigger one out in the world, which is the king penguin. So it's a great spot in the Falkland Islands to do so. And then we're going deeper in the world in Antarctica, on the seventh continent that I had the blessing of discovering back in March. And I have to say, this is an absolute thing to do. Even if you're wondering if you should, don't hesitate, just do it. It's just unbelievable as a spot to discover. So we're going to spend a whole season in Antarctica. It is the most remote area, and also Antarctica is a desert. So as much as you think that there will be a lot of snow, there is, but the snow is dating from thousands and thousands of years, and it's an accumulation. We're going to have 3 different types of expedition while we are in Antarctica, and I'll touch that a little bit more in detail. It's for the daring, but not just physically daring, but mentally daring, because there's no other place in the world that really offers this type of landscape, the wildlife as well that you can experience from the different type of penguins, the seals, the whales, the birds. You can see them flying everywhere. You can see the penguins everywhere. You can experience that. They are a curious animal, so they're going to come and see you when you go on land. And the landscape as well, from the glaciers and the different icebergs formation that are like sculptures coming up from a dream. So Antarctica with Atlas is going to be, of course, with the World Navigator. It's a ship that is certified 1B ice class. That means we can go through a meter of ice, and you don't need an icebreaker in Antarctica, because when we sail at that time, it's the austral summer between November and March. So there is ice, but it's very easy to navigate around, and with a certified Class B ship, you can move some of the ice if need be. Of course, your way out, your taxi outside of the ship is always on Zodiacs, as I mentioned a little earlier in the presentation. And I'll touch a little bit more of what you're going to experience and what you're going to have as well included in Antarctica. So we have 3 different sailings, as I mentioned, with our first one, which is one of the most popular of our 9 nights. Leaving out of Ushuaia, going to the South Shetland Island, as well as on the Antarctic Peninsula. If you pay attention, we do not go to Buenos Aires, as other cruise lines are most often showing. We will fly directly from a Southern American city. They are debating between Orlando or Houston at this point, to fly you direct to Ushuaia. That gives you the possibility to maximize your time in Antarctica, and that's usually the reason why you're coming. Therefore, you're avoiding flying to Buenos Aires, getting off from at the airport, going downtown, sleeping one night, waking up very early in the morning, taking a bus, going to the other airport, and then flying over to Ushuaia. So that's definitely a benefit. Then we have our unique 12 nights in February 2nd, where we're going to go more south in Antarctica over the Antarctic Circle. We're going at that time because there's less snow, less ice. It's easier to go deeper and most likely experience the Lemaire Channel, which is absolutely fantastic. And then our unique sailing of next year in December, for those of you that like the astronomical phenomenon, like a total eclipse of the sun, which is happening on December 4th, 2021. It's on our 28th of November departure, and that's the time to do it, because the only other time to be able to experience a solar eclipse in Antarctica will be in 400 years from now. So I don't know what we're going to look like in 400 years, so that might be the time to experience it. And also, you're going to go to South Georgia. Again, this is another spot in the world where you can experience the king penguin. When you see in our itinerary for Antarctica, you're going to see Captain's Choice. Since Mother Nature really rules in Antarctica because the weather can change in minutes, we don't take risks. We always make sure it's secure. So we cannot guarantee we're going to go to specific areas of Antarctica. For example, going to Elephant Island, Aneco Harbor, Deception Island, and so on. We will make sure to go as long as it is safe. So that's why we cannot guarantee that we're going to go to a specific spot because of that. Also, you're never alone while you are outside of the ship in Antarctica. There's always someone with you at any time. Our expedition team members are always the first to go outside of the ship, assess the terrain, make sure it's secure. If it's not, they'll come back, we'll move the ship, and do it all over again. So you know that when you get out, it's secure, and you're fine, and it's safe. While you are in Antarctica, we're going to do landings, because that's the reason why you came. You want to go and walk on land. So you're going to do 2 per day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. That's the advantage of having a small ship of less than 200 people. If you're over that, you would only be able to do 1 landing a day. As well, we're going to mix it with ice cruising or guided cruises, where you just sail in the area close to the icebergs, close to the wildlife as well, and really seeing seals and whales like just feet away from you. While you are in Antarctica, we will always include a Atlas Ocean Voyages parka. It is yours. You keep it. It's an inline type of windbreaker. It's perfect for that type of weather. And you don't necessarily bring your own parka because certain days will be warmer, certain days will be colder. I strongly suggest bringing more sweaters and just playing with layers at that point. The parka is always of a brilliant color because we always want to make sure we know where our guests are at any given time. We don't want to leave anybody there. You can bring your own boots on the ship but I strongly suggest you use the mock boots that we will provide, to the fact that there's always a cleaning process when you get out of the ship to go on land. This way we don't bring any bacteria from the ship, as well as when you come back, there's also a cleaning process. And these boots are set perfectly for that. You get a flotation device because you always have to wear it at any time as soon as you get out of the ship. And also for our guests that stay in suites, they will get a pair of binocular per person that they can use. Our onboard expedition team is really one of the big highlights of going to Antarctica. They are professionals in their field. They could be biologists, glaciologists, climatologists, historians, and they're really going to give lectures on board the ship about the different history and what there is to see in Antarctica. Also, you can meet them for lunch or dinner on board the ship, and they will accompany some of the landings as well outside when we go on land. So for you, our dear guests that would come and sail with us, we currently have an amazing promotion that is available until the end of the month. And as soon as you apply a deposit, and our deposit is reduced, it's $500 US dollars per person in staterooms and $750 per person in suites. For our suite guests, we automatically upgrade you to a business class for your flight, anywhere, all our destinations. And for our guests staying in the staterooms, you are upgraded in premium economy. This promotion gives you up to a $9,000 value per stateroom, and that includes a $500 added value for excursion that you can use pre-bookable, or a $200 onboard credit per person for any spending that you want to do on board. If you are worried about putting some money at this time, not to worry. We have our change policy, which is very easy to use. You can change to any of our other sailings up to 30 days prior departure. If you're not too sure about which trip, you can use a credit for any of our departures in inaugural season, and it's transferable. So if ever you decide not to go, you could always transfer it to one of your friends or a family member. So we really make it easy. And Atlas Ocean Voyages cannot be successful without great partners. And Departures Travel is definitely a great partner. I strongly suggest you call them, you talk with them about Atlas Ocean Voyages also. They know about the product, and they are a great resource also. So I don't know if there are any questions, but I would definitely welcome, and hopefully we'll see you on board of Atlas Ocean Voyages next year.
Thanks so much, Eric. That was a fantastic presentation and definitely inspiring. I think that what we're hearing from our clients and friends and different people that we know around the community is that people are getting really stir crazy, and they're really getting excited about starting to think about the future. And while they're not booking anything for this year, we're definitely seeing a trend toward bookings for next year and then even the year after. So I think the fact that you've got a great promotion on right now is a good thing, and hopefully we'll get some very excited people giving us a call and wanting to experience this brand new product. I know Kathy and I are both looking at the itineraries as you're going through, and I was looking at the Greece one thinking, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. And Kathy was really excited about the Holy Land one. So, but then there's the Antarctica, and then you've got the whole beautiful South America. I mean, yeah, you've got a great roster. And I think one of the things that I really liked when you did the presentation for our staff the other day was that a lot of the ports that you're going into are really quite untouched. They're not your typical ports of call. So I think that that's going to really bode well right now, especially with the current climate. People are looking to go places a little less traveled. And also the fact that you're a smaller cruise line, I think is really good too. It's definitely the trend right now to go smaller for sure. So we're really excited to be working with you and on such an exciting new product. We look forward to seeing great things from what you're
Excellent.
doing.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, thank you everybody for, thank you. Thank you everybody for joining us today. And as always, we've got another great lineup for next week. Next week, we've got Paula coming on to talk to us about Insight Vacations and all the wonderful things that they are doing to help with smaller group travel, and that's more of a land product. So really looking forward to talking with Paula next week. And again, Eric, thank you so much. And from Kathy and I, we will look forward to seeing everybody next week.